Hello my dear students, in continuation of our previous year question series, today we will discuss some more questions from Neet previous year questions that have been asked from your physics subject. So the today's first question is, water falls from a height of 60 meter at the rate of 15 kg per second. To operate a turbine, the losses due to frictional force are 10% of the input energy. How much power is generated by the turbine? By this observation of the data available in the question, we can relate the data of height and the rate of water discharge and the losses and how much power is generated. So, in broader view, we can see the question is related to energy and power. When it is a concern of energy, the formula for energy is equal to mgh. Okay. Now, the formula for power is equal to energy upon time. So, mgh upon t. The value of m is according to question 15, g 10 and height is equal to 60 and time we are provided with per second, so it is equal to 1, so we get 9 kilowatt. Okay, so this is the input power. Now according to question there are 10% losses. Okay, so the 10% of 9 kilowatt is 0.9 into 10 raised to power 3. Output is always calculated as input minus losses. The difference of input and losses is actually our output. The output comes out to be 8.1 kilowatt. That is our required option number 3. Okay. Moving to the next part. The next part is related to topic of magnetic field of class 12. Question says, a infinitely long straight conductor carries a current of 5 ampere as shown in figure. We are provided with a conductor named PQ having current 5 ampere. An electron is moving with a speed of 10 raised to power 5 meter per second parallel to the conductor. Now this is electron which is moving in parallel to the conductor with the velocity of 10 raised to power 5 meter per second. The perpendicular distance between the electron and the conductor is 20. So this is our electron path, this is conductor, the perpendicular distance is given according to question 20 centimeter. We have to calculate the magnitude of force experienced by the electron at that instant, because this is a conductor having current in it, so it is having a force component which will attract, okay, which will attract or which will have repulsive nature. We have to calculate the value of force. So first we calculate the magnetic field. The magnetic field is given as B is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi r. Now the formula for force in magnetic field is QVB sin theta, and in this case the theta comes out to be 90 degree. Now sin 90 is equal to 1, so the force formula remains F is equal to QVB. Now putting the values of B as mu naught I upon 2 pi r, this formula becomes in this format. Now putting values of mu naught is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7, current is 5 upon 2 pi r into values of E and V, we get force as 8 into 10 raised to power minus 20 Newton. That is our required option number 1. Okay, we just have to calculate the force. The formula for force is F is equal to QVB sin theta, and for magnetic field we use the formula B is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi r. Okay, moving to the next part. The next question says, consider the following statement A and B and identify the correct answer. The statement says, a Zener diode is connected in reverse bias when used as a voltage regulator. Okay, and the second part says the potential barrier of PN junction lies between 0.1 to 0.3. Okay, so we have to predict which one is correct and which one is wrong. So by this observation, option A is actually correct and option B is not correct. Because why is correct? Because Zener diode always is operate in a reverse bias resonant and it is used as voltage regulator. Voltage regulator, or we can say voltage stabilizer, to maintain the voltage at a specified level. And the potential barrier, second point says the potential barrier of PN junction lies between 0.1 and 0.3. This is wrong statement. Why? The potential barrier for germanium comes out to be 0.3 volt and for silicon it comes out to be 0.7. So it does not comes in the range of 0.1 to 0.3. That's why statement second is B is wrong and first is correct. Now moving to the next part. The next question says, a spring is stretched by 5 centimeter by force of 10 Newton. When we apply a force of 10 Newton to a spring, so it is stretched by, when we apply force of how much? 10 Newton, it is stretched by how much parameter? 5 centimeter. we have to calculate the time period of oscillation when a mass of how much is attached is to it 2 kg. Now, in case of a spring, we know the formula for force, restoring force comes out to be F equal to Kx. According to question, the force is 10 and X is displacement. Displacement is 5 centimeter. We have to convert in meter. On solving, we get K is equal to 200. A K is nothing but the spring constant. Now, when the mass is attached to something, it is in the form of simple harmonic motion. So, we can calculate the time period for T is equal to 2 pi root m by K. Okay, m is given as 2 and K is 200. On solving, we get 0.628 second. This is the required time period for oscillations of a spring. Okay, moving to the next part. The next question says, the electron concentration in an N-type semiconductor is same as the hole concentration in P-type semiconductor. We know there are two types of semiconductor, N-type and P-type. Question says the electron concentration in N-type is equal to the electron concentration in P-type. Now question says an external electric field is applied across each of them. Compare the current. We have to compare or calculate the value of current. Okay, we are provided with two types, N-type and P-type. Now, we know in N-type semiconductor the majority charge carriers are electron and in P-type the majority charge carriers are holes. Okay, according to question, they both are equally numbered. Now, the formula for current is I is equal to NEAVD. Okay, where N is number of electron, E is charge of an electron, A area, VD is drift velocity. Putting the value of VD as mu E. Yes or no? Now, we have to compare current. As we all know, mu E is greater than mu H. Mu means mobility. Mu means mobility. Mobility of electron is higher than mobility of holes. So, this formula says if mu E is higher than mu H, then IE must be greater than IS. More current flows in electron N-type as compared to P-type. So, the option number 4 is the correct explanation. Okay. Moving to the next part. The question says, a dipole is placed in an electric field as shown in figure. We are provided with a dipole. Dipole means two charges having same magnitude and opposite polarity, plus and minus. It is placed in electric field. This is a required electric field. In which direction it will move? Okay. Question says, if the dipole is there, we can name it as A and B. It is placed in electric field E. So, due to the influence of electric field, it will move. So, we have to predict the direction. Okay, we are provided with 4 options. So, moving to the solution part, E1 is greater than E2. Okay, E1 is greater than E2. E1 is this electric field associated with this charge and E2 is associated with this charge. Question says E1 is greater than E2 as the field lines are closer at charge plus Q. Okay, we are provided with two charges, plus Q and minus Q. So, you can see the field lines are for plus Q are closer, and in the case where field lines are closer, the electric field is higher. So, the electric field of plus Q is higher than which? Minus Q. Okay, this question. So, the net force on the dipole acts toward the right system. A system always moves to decrease at the potential energy. So, the required answer is third, toward the right as its potential energy will be decreased. So, dipole will move toward the right position so as to balance the energy magnitude. Okay. Moving to the next part, question says, a convex lens A of focal length 20 cm and concave lens of focal length 5 cm are kept along the same axis at a distance small d between them. Okay. Now, if the parallel beam of light falling on A leaves B as a parallel beam, then the distance between them. We are provided with two lenses. One is convex lens and other is concave lens. Okay. We are provided with the focal length as 20 and 5 centimeter. Okay. So, the gap between the two lenses D is equal to the difference of focal length. First focal length is 20 and other is 5. The difference is 15. So, that is required option number 3. We does not have to be confused with the language of the questions and the number of lines that have been asked in question. This can be solved by this application of difference of focal length. Okay. Moving to the next part, the question says the escape velocity from the Earth's surface is V. Okay. And the escape velocity from the surface of the another planet having radius 4 times that of Earth and the same mass density will be. On Earth, the escape velocity is v. We have to calculate the value of escape velocity for another planet having radius 4 times of Earth, okay, and the same mass density. So the formula for escape velocity is v is equal to under root 2 gm upon r, okay. Now we can write mass as volume into density, okay. So we have converted mass into volume into density. Why we have converted? Because in question we are provided with the term of density, okay. On solving we get 8 pi g rho r cube upon 3. This formula says that the escape velocity is directly proportional to r. Actually this r cancel out with this, we get r square, and when r square comes out of the square root becomes r. So the escape velocity directly proportional to radius. Now apply this condition in our questions. VE upon V, okay, escape velocity upon Earth, escape velocity of planet upon escape velocity of Earth. According to question, the Earth escape velocity is V, Earth radius is r, and the planet escape velocity is v, and radius is 4r. Solving we get 4v, okay. So if the radius is 4 times, the escape velocity will also be calculated 4 times the velocity on the Earth. Moving to the next part, the question says an electromagnetic wave of wavelength lambda is incident on a photosensitive surface of negligible work function. Okay, we are provided with a photosensitive surface and EM waves is incident on it. Question says if m mass is of photoelectron emitted from the surface has de Broglie wavelength lambda d. We have to calculate the value of wavelength, okay, by using the relation for de Broglie wavelength, Planck constant and kinetic energy. This is hc upon lambda is equal to k maximum plus phi naught, okay. If phi is negligible, work function is negligible, these both are related to each other. Hc upon lambda is equal to k maximum, okay. Now solving for lambda d, we rearrange the formula for lambda d as h upon 2m k maximum, okay. Now we have to calculate the value of k maximum, then performing squaring both sides, k maximum comes out to be h square upon 2 pi lambda d square. Now k maximum we get. Now putting the values of this and solving for the relation between lambda and lambda d, we get option number 4. We have to relate both the wavelength, de Broglie wavelength and the normal wavelength, okay, lambda and lambda d. Moving to the next part, the question says a lens of large focal length and large aperture is the best suited as an objective lens of astronomical telescope. Since when we are using astronomical telescope, the question says we should use a lens of large focal length and large aperture as an objective. Why it is? So these are the options. The first says a large aperture contribute to the quality and visibility of the images. Absolutely right. The next part says a large area of the objective ensure better light gathering power. This is also right. Third says a large aperture provides a better resolution. These all are the correct. So the large option 4 is always correct. That is okay. These are some of the formula for magnifying power, resolution power, okay. These all satisfy the required condition. That's why the option number 4 is correct. Now moving to the next part, the next question says two charged spherical conductors of radius r1 and r2 are connected by a wire. We are provided with two charged conductors having r1 and r2 radius connected with each other. Then the ratio of surface charge density of the sphere, we have to calculate value of sigma upon sigma 2. Okay, we have to calculate the value of surface charge density in terms of radius. So we can calculate the value of charge as summation of charge upon r1 plus r2 into r1. When two charges are conductors are connected in this manner, so q1 is calculated total charge upon r1 plus r2 into r1. For q2, total charge upon r1 plus r2 into r2. Now surface charge density is nothing, charge upon surface area. Surface charge density sigma is charge upon surface area. Surface area comes out to be 4 pi r square. So charge q1 upon 4 pi r1 square. Putting the value of q1, we get this value, and for sigma 2 we get this value. Now we have to calculate the ratio of sigma 1 upon sigma 2, that comes out to be r2 upon r1. This relation says the surface charge density is inversely proportional to radius. Okay, moving to the next part. The next part says a plane electromagnetic wave propagating in x direction Which one of the following combination give the correct possible direction for the electric field and magnetic field? Okay, we have to predict the electric field and magnetic field. We know electric field and magnetic field are related by speed of light. So C is equal to E cross B. Okay, C is equal to E cross B. The value of E is given as minus J plus K, and for B minus J by minus K. By just applying the rules of cross product, we get 2i. That is our required option number. On solve question says for a plane electromagnetic wave traveling in x direction. Okay, which one of the following combination is correct for you? When the waves in x direction, the electric field is given as this and magnetic field is given as this. The required option is 2i. So the combination we satisfy is option number 3. When E value will be minus J plus K, another value will be minus J minus K. Moving to the next part, the next question says a cup of coffee cools from 90 degree to 80 degree in T minutes when the room temperature is 20 degree Celsius. Okay, the time taken by the similar cup of coffee to cool from 80 to 60 degree at room temperature will be. We have to calculate the difference. Whenever the question is of the difference format, we have to apply two equations. Okay, so the relation for the temperature and the temperature difference will be dt upon T. Capital T is temperature, small t is time, is equal to K, T average minus T naught. T naught is our actually room temperature. T naught is actually our room temperature. Okay. So according to the first condition, the dt means temperature difference. 90 and 80, the difference is 10. Okay, is equal to K. T average will be average of 80 and 90 comes out to be 85, and T naught is room temperature that comes out to be 20 degree. Okay. Next question says the difference of 80 and 60 is 20. So in place of dt we put 20 upon T is equal to K. Average of 80 and 60 is 70 minus 20. Now this is our temperature T and this is T dash. Comparing both the temperature, we get T dash is equal to 13 upon 5 into T. Okay, this is our required time T. Small t denotes the time. So the new time interval T dash is equal to 13 upon 5 into T. That is our required option number 3rd. Moving to the next part, this is related to capacitance. Question says the equivalent capacitance of the combination will be. We have to calculate the value of equivalent capacitance. One point should be noted in mind: for capacitance, the rules are opposite to the rules for resistance. Okay, capacitance and resistance both obey different rules for series and parallel combination. Okay, firstly we have just marked the point A and B. Now we have to calculate the relation between which A and B. We have to calculate the equivalent capacitance between A and B. Now, according to the relation, these both capacitance, this and this capacitance are in parallel. Okay, when there is a parallel combination capacitor, add up directly. So C plus resultant will be capacitance resultant will be of this and this will be C. Okay, now for this C and C, when parallel capacitance both add up, the result is 2C. Okay, the result will be 2C. Okay, so required answer for this is 2C. Okay, these both are in parallel combination. For parallel capacitor, add up directly, and for series combination it comes out to be C by 2 and C by 2. Now moving to the next part, if F is the force, A is the acceleration and T is the time are chosen as the fundamental physical quantity, find the dimension of energy. According to question, energy depend on F, A and T. Okay, we can simply write on the up A, B, B and T, C. This is wrong. Okay, no, dimension for energy is m1 L raised to power 2 T raised to power minus 2. Dimension of force is this, dimension of area is this, and dimension of T is this. Solving, we get A1, B1 and C2. Just putting the value of A, B, C, we get the answer F, A, T square. That is our option number 3. Okay, moving to the next part. The next question says a small block slide down a smooth inclined plane starting from the rest at t equal to 0. Okay, like we are provided within block. Okay, that is inclining down the slope. Its initial position is t equal to 0 let Sn be the distance traveled by the block in the interval n minus 1 to n. We have to calculate the ratio of Sn upon Sn plus 1. So the relation for Sn is a by 2 to n minus 1. This is the required equation. For n plus 1, we just put n plus 1 in place of n, and solving we get 2n minus 1 upon 2n plus 1. That is our required option number 3rd. Okay. So this is the required end of the some of the important questions which were asked in your previous year NEET examination. So you should practice this question more and more and prepare a formula sheets, concept map from these questions, how the question is framed and how the nearby concept can be approached in the future examination. Thank you.